one thing I want to say at the outset, because I find that this is something that a lot of people don't know about and that we take for granted, is that whether a person has a visa in their passport or they're eligible to use visa waiver and come here, that ability to get those things does not equal they are going to get here to do what they want to do. And I want to mention this because I work a lot with Customs and Border Protection. Those are not just the people on the land border stopping people from walking in or something. They're also everybody at the airport that people meet when they're coming off their planes. And I work with them, I think, a good bit, and it's important for people to know that at the outset, just because you have something that allows you to get on a plane and get here does not mean you'll ultimately get to stay here and do what you want to do, and a lot of people don't know that. So at the very beginning of this handout, I wanted to include a section that talks about that, because I think it's, when we're thinking about these things, it's important to know that when you have those things and you get off your plane, Customs and Border Protection can check the person's laptop that they might have with them or their phone, and if they see something that doesn't make sense with the status they're seeking to enter as, they can be turned around and put back on a plane. And this is something that you laugh, but
no, I'm just remembering a story, the story of the young couple from the UK that had, I think on their phone, Facebook or something, they posted, "We're going to blow up LA."
Oh my.
And they got deported.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it sounds crazy, and that is ridiculous. If someone says we're going to blow it up, as in we're going to go all over the place, that just goes to show you that you have someone who doesn't get out much if they read that in a different
they don't need
way.
to be
But you know, it's important to know this, because actually Customs and Border Protection can enter an administrative deportation order against a person at the airport. No judge, no hearing. As a matter of fact, a person who lands in the United States does not have a right to an attorney. They are seeking to come in here. The rights that vest when you're here don't apply yet. And so this is really important to know, because I find that people take for granted, if I've got this and I get here, I'm getting in, I'm going to get to do what I want. But that really is not always the case. And one thing I do a lot of is trying to prepare people, when you land, this is what you need to be ready to talk about, because this is what you're here to do. These are the documents you need to be ready to show if you're questioned. If you're taken to a back room to be questioned, this is what you need to understand. People from visa waiver countries, I think they kind of take for granted sometimes that they're cleared through this portal and they're coming and everything's going to be okay, but it isn't always, and people have to know that. Not only can a person have an administrative deportation order entered against them, but maybe if they're more fortunate or their situation is more sympathetic, instead of entering what we call an expedited removal order, that's what we call those deportation orders that happen at the airport, instead of getting one of those, they might just be turned around. They might just, the Customs and Border Protection officer can tell them, hey, look, I'm just going to let you turn around and go back, and I'm going to cancel your visa, or I'm going to make a note in here that you can't use visa waiver again. And that person's going to need to take some additional action next time they come here. And you know, recently I had that happen to someone. I got a call from another attorney. He was bringing someone in. He thought he could pass him off as going to meetings. It really was probably more like productive work. So he called me and said, what can you do? I said, maybe nothing, because they don't have a right to someone like me, but I can try to ask if Customs and Border Protection will just let him go instead of giving him this expedited removal order. And they agreed, which was great for this person, because down the line it saves him a lot of trouble and money. But it's important to know that a person is not going to have a right to anything like that. So being prepared ahead of time is something I'm a real big proponent of, because if you're prepared, you're a lot less likely to have the problem. So just knowing that at the outset, just because you have something in your passport or you have a clearance through ESTA that authorizes you to come in, doesn't mean you will ultimately get in. When you arrive, there's a second review of your purpose. It could be just, what are you coming in for? How long are you going to be here? Great. And it could be that simple, or it could not. So people have to be prepared for that. And